Oh my God.
Marge, what's wrong?
Here we are in the middle of a crisis and there's no cheesecake.
Didn't we buy one yesterday?
Yes, but I found 2 gray hairs.
So one of the things that I like to do, this is by the way a 7-inch cheesecake pan. It fits inside my Instapot. I'm actually going to fit the bottom with parchment paper. So I estimated at first okay, now that it's on there, I fit the top back over the bottom. And I snap it back on there. Okay, all this excess, I'm going to trim off with a pair of scissors. Oil, I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil and a folded paper towel. And I'm going to grease the bottom and the sides. So now it's prepped for the crust.
So how much olive oil should you put in there?
I just drizzled maybe a teaspoon just to make sure it's got a nice base to it, but the parchment paper will also help for it not to stick. Okay, so we're going to take 3/4 cup of crushed graham cracker crumbs and 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And then I cheat and I use a fork. Okay, so nice and crumbly bottom. Okay, now that that has been beat now for 2 minutes with just cream cheese, and then we added the sugar and the cornstarch, I'm now going to add 2 tablespoons of real maple syrup. Shout out to Circle Q Market. Ladies and gentlemen, get your maple syrup from them. So there's 1 tablespoon. There's 2 tablespoons. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to beat this for a full minute till it's fully mixed in, and then I'm going to start adding 1 egg at a time. I know some of you guys are new to using an Instapot, or you have an Instapot and you're terrified to use it, whatever it may be. I wanted to give you a couple of tips. So inside of my Instapot, which is this one right here, I have my trivet already in there, and I have 2 cups of water in the bottom of the pan. I have my cheesecake all ready to go, but I want to show you guys how to make a sling. So if you would hold that for me, please, honey. All right, I'll take the lid off there. So to make a sling, you take a piece of foil like this, and all you're going to do is you're going to make it into about a 1.5 inch strip, and continue to fold it over like this until you have it all folded. It does not have to be pretty nor perfect. So now that I have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my cheesecake and I'm going to set it right on the center, and then I'm going to fold it up because now I can pick it up. So now that I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to literally pick it up and set it right inside of that trivet, and I'm going to leave the foil off to the sides. I'm going to replace the lid, make sure it's on seal. Yep, and then I'm going to hit manual. I'm going to adjust it to 20 minutes. And then that's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. That cheesecake will be ready in 20 minutes, and we're going to let it, we'll come back to that when it finishes cooking. So the timer has gone off on the 20 minutes. So now we're actually going to allow it to naturally release for an additional 20 minutes before going ahead and removing the lid. Okay, so I just pulled that out using the sling that I made earlier. I did also use some paper towel to get the moisture off the top, because for whatever reason with Instant Pot cheesecakes, they always have a little bit of moisture build up on the top. I'm going to take a knife and run it around. Whoops, of course I'm looking at the phone and not what I'm doing. I'm going to loosen the edge of the cheesecake, and then we're going to let it sit and come to room temperature before I put it in the fridge for 4 hours. But that is the easiest cheesecake I've made in a long time. So this time, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't use my own recipe. I did actually find this particular cheesecake recipe online. So here is the recipe as I followed it, along with the source at the end. Thanks for following.